Hello and welcome to another edition of Son of Kaiju Review. I'm Protomet.
I'm Tank.
And today we will be taking a look at the Christmas classic Godzilla vs. Kong. Godzilla vs. Kong.
There's been a few of them. Well, 3 technically.
Well, no, there's been King Kong vs. Godzilla, Godzilla vs. Kong, and then Godzilla X Kong. But I think the X is silent. So Godzilla Kong.
X.
Yeah, sometimes when you have an X in a title, it's silent. So
I think it's another version of Versus for some reason.
That's why the series was called Men 2, and Men Last Stand. Men 3 Last Stand.
The Christmas special, the game.
The Miss Special, the game. But no, we're talking about the movie that basically acts as a rematch between Godzilla and King Kong.
Yeah. So Godzilla versus King Kong versus Godzilla.
Godzilla versus Kong.
My brain's hurting.
We've already done King Kong versus Godzilla.
That was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago. But to be fair, this rematch was a long time coming.
It needed it. No offense to the original, but it's good/bad.
This is the 4th movie in the MonsterVerse series, which consists of 2014's Godzilla, 2017's Kong Skull Island, and 2019's Godzilla King of the Monsters. Can't remember when that one came out.
I don't remember either. But it made Monarch.
The Monarch Legacy of Monsters, that was a show that came out last year along with Skull Island.
Mm-hmm.
Which was
was an animated series.
That was an animated series, but it is still part of it.
Yeah.
And then the aforementioned Godzilla Kong New Empire, which just came out this past year.
Yeah. I suppose we should talk about the particular movie we're supposed to talk about. Which one was that again?
The movie starts on Iwi Island.
Iwi Island.
Or Skull Island.
It was Skull Island, yeah.
I don't know why.
Somewhere Skull Island. Well, the Iwis were there.
The Iwi were the race of were the tribe of people that lived on Skull Island in this continuity.
In Skull Island, I just remember the scene where they actually show up into the village, and then one of them they just open their eyes and they come out of their faces are painted like the
background.
Yeah, just whoa, kind of give you a small jump scare. Okay, so
Kong is on Skull Island in what is revealed to be a containment facility built around the island, which is now engulfed in a storm, as opposed to how it was in Kong Skull Island, which was just tropical, simply.
I believe the storm was made by King Ghidorah.
I don't know if there's any actual explanation. I do know that one of the books that was a tie-in to this movie did explain that the storm just kind of happened. But I'm not gonna talk too much about the books, because when we did the Protomet and Friends podcast talking about this, I kind of came across as a bit of an ass for having known so much about the extended material beyond this movie. So
yeah, so pretty much Kong just wakes up, stretches, kind of yawns, grabs a tree, breaks all the branches off, and chucks it into the sky.
Because it's an artificial sky in the containment facility. Although we are introduced to a young Iwi girl named Gia? Gia?
Gia?
Gia.
G.I. Joe?
No. Gia.
Go Joe!
Who is the only Iwi left on the island.
Due to the storm that we brought up earlier.
The movie and the book that lead up to it are kind of conflicting. The book claims that they were evacuated off the island, but the movie kind of implies that they died off. So, bit unclear which is the case, though Gia is a survivor of the tribe.
I thought we weren't talking about the book.
I know, but just for the point of explaining that.
Why is she the only Iwi left?
Right. How vague that is.
So then Gia's, I guess, now adopted mother signs to her because
Gia is deaf and she uses sign language. And if I remember correctly, I believe Gia's actress is also deaf. So.
Oh, that's cool.
And Gia plays a huge role in this movie.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, they know that they can't keep Kong on the island because of how dangerous the storm is becoming and how the artificial habitat they've built for him is
if he keeps throwing the trees up at the roof, it's
he's
gonna start falling apart.
He knows it's fake, and he's disappointed in that. He wants to get out into a real, actual home.
Yeah,
but but Monarch, who is monitoring him, are hesitant to do so because Godzilla's still around, and they don't want two alphas duking it out.
Alpha versus Omega.
Speaking of Godzilla, he decides to destroy a place. Seemingly at random.
Yeah, well, he was having a bad day. He had to kill dozens of people.
Yeah, but that is this movie's B plot.
Oh, okay. I'll bring this up later with more close to the end of the podcast.
Yeah, we're gonna, because this movie kind of focuses on both the Kong storyline and the Godzilla storyline and them eventually merging into a single storyline. We're gonna focus on the Kong storyline, which is the primary focus of the film, which is ironic considering that Kong's name is second in the title. And Godzilla's story we'll deal with separately. We're not going to jump back and forth between them like the movie does. Though the movie does it for the sake of time and consistency.
Yeah.
We'll deal with the Godzilla storyline after the point where the two stories intersect and are relevant to each other.
So, some bad guys, I guess, or...
Apex Cybernetics.
Yes, Apex Cybernetics show up to this, I guess he's a scientist, or...
I think he was a former Monarch scientist who retired, wrote a book, and now they're asking him to come back to try and investigate Hollow Earth with Kong. Because Monarch knows that they can't keep Kong on the island in the condition that it is in. Yeah. But so they're thinking of moving him to the Hollow Earth if possible to provide him a new home. Again, if possible, the Hollow Earth is still very much an unknown element in this whole aspect at this point.
Like the Pokemon.
Yes, exactly. What the heck was up with those? Anyway,
they're the alphabet.
No. Why?
Fuck if I know. So they start talking. The former scientist starts talking to Gia's mom about possibly moving Kong to possibly the Hollow Earth, which she's kind of against it because, like you said, Godzilla is out there. So they try it, and then Godzilla shows up.
Yeah, they start transporting Kong across the sea, and Godzilla shows up. And this is not where the two plots intersect. This is
fight scene number 1.
This is surprisingly enough an event that occurs independent of the Godzilla storyline.
Yep. It's they're in.
Spoiler alert: the Godzilla storyline doesn't really have Godzilla in it very much.
Well, yes and no. It's got its name in it.
Yeah, Kong is revealed to be intelligent enough to be scared, and kind of upset at the fact that he's chained down on a battle cruiser and being transported across the sea by a bunch of people he doesn't know.
And it's a huge rainstorm happening before Godzilla shows up, Gia runs out to where Kong is.
And has a chat with him, which, again, the fact that Kong is able to sign back, indicating that he understands what she's saying and is trying to communicate with them, surprises everybody. They had no idea. Like, Gia's guardian tried to teach Kong sign language, and he didn't seem to take it, but clearly he does understand it. Mm-hmm. And so that's like a whole new thing. Like that's some big news in like the Titans.
Yes. My opinion on why it probably took Kong longer to learn sign from the Guardian lady is that Gia is just innocent. You know,
like Gia being an Iwi is familiar with Kong.
Yeah.
I'm gonna mention a book again, but there's like a whole children's book showcasing the interaction between the two.
Okay.
It's not super plot relevant. It's adorable.
That's just what I think. That's because she is an Iwi and she was part of his island, and he trusts her.
But then a little after that, Godzilla shows up to pick a fight because he sensed Kong.
You got to release his strengths so he can actually fight back.
It's a pretty epic fight.
It's a good back and forth until Godzilla gets Kong into the water.
Yeah, then it really becomes Kong's fight, and Monarch kind of has to intervene and help Kong to not die.
Yep. They release some
depth charges.
Yep, depth charges, and I guess Godzilla releases him, and Kong pretty much swims up top. Looks like he pukes up all the whole ocean in one scene. He is a Titan, so
he collapses on the deck of one of the ships, and then Monarch decides to shut everything down and.
They're playing dead.
Basically, yeah. Like they realize that if they keep their engines running, Godzilla will interpret that as them still wanting a fight.
Yep. So Kong ends up playing dead, and they shut off all the ships. And
not so much that Kong plays dead; it's the ships that play dead. Kong passes out from the battle. Well, he gets knocked out.
Yeah, he I think he more passes out before he gets knocked out because, he probably couldn't breathe very good. Then they end up taking helicopters and kind of haul him like from the old movie, but
with a severe lack of yellow balloon.
Yep.
Though, to be fair, this Kong is a lot bigger than that Kong was.
Oh, God, yeah.
But they transport him to the Antarctic, which is where they were headed in the first place.
And this is the only reason why we're actually doing this for the Christmas episode.
It's got snow in this one scene. They lead Kong to this big cave and goad him into there with Gia's help, and they travel with him to the Hollow Earth.
Yep. Oh yeah, we forgot to mention that the bad guy's daughter is with them.
I was actually thinking that too. We needed to mention that the president of Apex Cybernetics, his daughter is traveling with them because they're providing the funding for the expedition.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Tell us how you really feel.
I don't know. That rice-a-roni tasted good.
And the Hollow Earth is
very interesting. I consider it like the Upside Down.
Only a lot more wilderness.
Yes.
And not so much. I mean,
nothing.
It's kind of appropriate that you compare it to the Upside Down, especially considering that A, it actually is upside down, and B, this movie has Millie Bobby Brown.
Yeah, Millie Bobby Brown's in it. She was in 2014's Kong?
She was
Godzilla.
Godzilla King of the Monsters, which we talked about a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
And she is in this. We haven't mentioned her yet, but that's because she's
part of the Godzilla plotline. Also, the kid from Deadpool 2 is in this movie, too.
Yeah, but we'll get to that when we get to that. No, not that kid. The other kid. No, the other kid. That one.
The one that can use fire.
Yes, that actor who is famous for using fire. No, I
know. Okay. Yeah, so now they're in the Hollow Earth.
They encounter a number of bizarre creatures. Got like the war bats, the psycho vultures, I think. I think they're psycho vultures.
I think they're so. They kind of look like vultures, but...
We got Doug.
Doug. Just a big lizard.
Just a big toad-looking lizard. We got like rock crabs.
Yep.
I don't know if that's actually what they're called, but they disguise themselves as rocks.
The rock lobster. Yeah, so Kong finds a building that has a large handprint on it.
Well, at one point he climbs up to like a ridge and there are like rocks floating and like another plane on the other side of the rocks. And he realizes that he can just jump over to the other side and grab onto the ledge that looks like a big hand reaching out.
Yeah, it did kind of look like a big hand.
Just a big hand kind of pointing. And then eventually they get to a big building like place.
Yep. And Kong opens it up. Kong finds an axe that apparently it's a Godzilla dorsal fin.
Dorsal plate.
Yeah.
A shoot.
Yep.
Scoot. I don't know how that's pronounced. But it glows in like one area, and Kong finds like a recess indicating that that's where it's supposed to go, and that causes a huge burst of blue energy to
form looked like a Godzilla like pattern.
And then Apex's daughter decides to release a drone to drill out a portion of this glowing stuff and transport it to her dad, which is now where we're going to start talking about the Godzilla plotline.
Before we actually start, though, as the drilling starts, they all try to stop them, but the bad guys point guns at them, and Kong just roars.
It's like, really? You're pulling guns on my family? So do you see how big I am?
It's like, oh shit.
It's like, you did not think this through, lady, did you?
No need to think. I have money. No, that happens later.
Right. But so yeah. So as it happens, Godzilla's attack at the beginning of the movie was on an Apex facility, where it just so happens this conspiracy nut
Barry. No, not that Barry.
Yeah,
this is a different podcast, okay?
But no, this Barry guy, who is an absolute conspiracy nut, has his own conspiracy theory podcast. He had apparently infiltrated Apex as one of its employees and come across, like, proof that they were building something.
Yep.
Because he found, like, a giant eye in the rubble at one point.
Mm-hmm. What the hell is that?
Now, after he manages to escape from there, Millie Bobby Brown, who listens to his podcast, she starts thinking, oh, why is Godzilla attacking humans? There must be reasons, because he's never done that before, without provocation. So, with the help of Flame Fist from Deadpool 2, I can't remember the kid's name, so...
I thought you were going to grab her phone.
I did grab my phone. I didn't say I was going to use it.
Okay, so yeah, he shows up with
Madison Russell. That is Millie Bobby Brown's character's name.
Fire Fist.
I'm just gonna go with Flame Fist because I couldn't be bothered to remember this character's name, which is a shame because he's actually kind of a funny character. Because he effectively plays the comic relief straight man because with the help of Flame Fist Brothers Van, they managed to track down Barry and get in touch with him.
They talk to this clerk. He's like, "Is there a weird guy that buys bleach all the time?" Like,
it's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
And
he's just like puts down like a bill,
a $10 bill. He's like, I can sell you. He's like, oh, you mean Barry?
Oh, you mean Barry? Yeah, no, I know where he is. And Barry, when they go to visit Barry, he's in his...
He's being incognito.
He's affecting a very, very fake Jamaican accent.
Yep.
Which they do not buy for a second.
No.
But once Madison reveals who she is, he is a lot more willing to talk. And they manage to sneak into the destroyed Apex facility.
Yep.
And get back to the room where Barry found the big eye, and
they end up people start coming in. Well, first they see like these container type like.
Well, no. What happens is they go to the place where he found the big eye. It's gone. And then they find an elevator.
Oh, yeah,
down
that's right.
even deeper into the facility.
Where does this go?
It goes like basement level 33 or something.
Yeah.
Like, shit.
I was gonna say it's gonna go to the underground, but no.
I mean, yes, it does go to the underground, but
yeah, but not to that underground.
Not to Hollow Earth underground.
Yeah. So they hear people coming, so they hop into one of these things, and then there's like eggs of skull crawlers,
which the container gets closed on them with them still inside and transported to Hong Kong.
Yep, Hong Kong,
which is where Apex's headquarters is.
Then they witness the giant mecha known as Mecha Godzilla just brutalize this skullcrawler.
That is just used simply to test out Mechagodzilla's capability.
Yep.
Like, that's how little they actually care about the life. That they have, like, this stockpile of skullcrawler eggs that they're using just to test a giant robot of death.
Yep. And after they're done killing the skullcrawler, I guess it doesn't have enough energy to keep going after it's like uses its like beam attack.
So they know that they've got an energy problem. Mm-hmm. Also, it's the movie itself doesn't reveal it, but the pilot of Mechagodzilla, who's controlling it remotely, is actually Ren Serizawa, the son of Dr. Serizawa from the first two Godzilla movies in the MonsterVerse.
Huh.
Yeah, the movie doesn't reveal that. That's actually a detail that's revealed in the novelization, which I haven't even read. The only reason I know that is because Monster Island Buddies read that book and commented on that in his critique of this movie.
By the way, he is piloting it in the skull of King Ghidorah.
Mm-hmm. Which is what Madison's group end up finding out.
Mm-hmm. He's like, oh.
Although they wind up getting caught.
Yep. And now this is the point where the material that they have stole from the Hollow Earth is charging up into...
Like, the data for it is radioed back to Apex headquarters, and that somehow allows them to tap into that energy. I don't know. I don't understand this part of the movie. This kind of feels dumb.
Well, apparently the Hollow Earth energy is able to... have Mechagodzilla can go on its own.
Right. The energy is sufficient enough to power Mechagodzilla indefinitely.
Yeah, like not even have a pilot, because it kills the pilot.
But like I said, this aspect of it where they just radio internet wave the data about the energy to Apex headquarters is enough for them to use the energy to power Mechagodzilla. It's like, what? What?
It's a movie.
Like, I would have assumed that they would have tried to get the sample back to Apex, but no. They scan the data of the sample and then send that data to Apex, and somehow they're able to use the energy as a result. That's not how that works. Like,
you're overthinking this.
Maybe they use it to try replicating the sample.
Maybe
on a molecular level, but that's even more outlandish in this already outlandish movie with giant monsters
that are in the underground.
I mean, I get that it's a vague means to an end. It's just this is the one aspect of the movie that confuses the hell out of me.
Yeah. So also now during this point, Godzilla is in Thailand.
Hong Kong. Hong Kong and Thailand are not the same thing.
Yeah. He powers up his atomic breath, and it's strong enough to get to the hollow Earth.
Yeah, he releases his atomic breath straight down,
Yep.
which opens a hole to hollow Earth, and that's how Kong gets
up to
climbs back up to the surface of the Earth to fight Godzilla.
Well, at least we can see them fight this time. No offense, Mudos.
We'll talk about that when we get to that movie. But this fight scene does take place at night, but it's in the incredibly neon-filled city of Hong Kong. So we get to see everything in glorious neon detail, which they made Funko Pops of.
Oh yeah, I've seen those.
They look glorious.
So Kong and Godzilla are just beating the dog crap out of each other. And then during this portion, Madison's team are being preached at by...
because they get caught by the president of Apex. Mm-hmm. And he starts just monologuing, his evil monologue about, we created a giant robot so that we can reclaim our role as the as the alphas of this planet.
And then Mechagodzilla turns and looks at where he is and just swipes the side of the wall where that little window area is.
Yeah, because turns out using that untested energy source
makes Mechagodzilla sentient.
It basically allows the soul of King Ghidorah to take over the giant robot.
Yeah, that's pretty.
Which is a concern that not that exact concern, but Ren Sarazawa was like, maybe we should test this first before actually going through with this plan in full.
Well, yeah, because
we don't know what this is going to do exactly. So maybe we should not. But no, the Apex president goes full on villain.
Yep.
This full on arrogant villain is like, no, we don't need to test it. We just need to send Mechagodzilla out. So Mechagodzilla ends up destroying the Apex facility.
Yep.
And laser blitz. Oh God, what was it called? Photon scream?
Sure.
I think that's what they call that attack. He photon screams his way to the surface of Hong Kong, which is now morning, I guess.
Yeah, then at this point, Godzilla has beaten Kong.
Which is funny because at one point mid-fight, Kong manages to knock Godzilla down, and somebody comments is like, I guess this round goes to Kong. It's like, no, the fight's not over. He just got knocked down. What the hell?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, this movie definitively shows that King Kong would get his ass handed to him by Godzilla. It happens twice.
Yep. It's until the next movie where he can hold his own a little bit better.
Right. Different circumstances there.
Yep. Yeah. They've, prior to even having the original Godzilla or King Kong versus Godzilla, they've had that, myth, who would win, But, Godzilla's so and so much taller than Kong.
And of course there was that urban legend where, in the Japanese version, Godzilla won that fight. But no, in both versions, Kong wins that fight.
Yep.
King Kong dominates. I mean, to be fair, at that point in Godzilla's history, he was still a bad guy.
Yeah.
This was literally his third film. And considering that both previous films had him just causing wanton destruction.
Yep.
With little regard to anything else outside of Anguirus.
Yeah, that's pretty much true. Okay, so Kong is technically dying.
So they decide to use the heaves, the hover vehicles they've been using to get to and from Hollow Earth with Kong. They use that to basically defibrillate his heart.
Yep.
Get it pumping again.
Just a boom. Oh, just one of these things will light up Las Vegas for 3 weeks.
A week.
A week. That's
I mean, that is what the
I don't even know her name.
Yeah, the Apex daughter.
Yep.
Clearly, we don't actually remember the names of the villains outside of Ren Serizawa, and only because it's the son of Dr. Serizawa.
Yep.
And that's the only reason we even know that. And even then, that's a detail from a book that's not in the movie.
So, yeah, Godzilla's getting his ass handed to him by Mechagodzilla / Ghidorah, maybe. I'm not. That's gonna give me a headache if I try to think about that.
Yeah, just go with Mechagodzilla.
Mechagodzilla Ghidorah. Yeah. So, Kong shows up. Yeah. Right at the perfect time because Mechagodzilla is about to Anguirus Godzilla.
No, he's about to Muto Godzilla.
Yeah, oh yeah. Then Kong lifts Mechagodzilla's head up in the air so his beam or whatever
photon scream
goes up into the air. And then he finally grabs his axe and it doesn't have any of the power, so it's not really doing any effect until Godzilla blasts it with his atomic breath.
And they're having this, despite working together, the two Titans are having a difficult time fighting Mechagodzilla. Until Flamefist decides to take Barry's flask, which he got from his late wife and kept in a gun holster that he always has on, and just pours it over the control console.
That scene is just funny to me. It's just like, okay, all right, now I'm gonna die and I'm gonna be with you, and I gotta be sober.
Like, for as ridiculous as it is, like this remote console somehow messes up Mechagodzilla. I find it more believable than them transmitting data of energy, and that somehow translates to energy.
Well, liquid getting into panels should.
I know, but I mean, like, from the perspective of Mechagodzilla being a remote creature.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna worry about it too much because I found this scene funny. Yeah. I like this scene. It's so ridiculous. It's like, sure, whatever.
Yeah, he starts wonking out, but apparently, hypothetically, the soul of Ghidorah is still in Mechagodzilla, but it's weak enough for both Titans to take him down now.
And just absolutely tear him to shreds.
Oh, yeah. Then, Millie Bobby Brown's, or, yeah, Millie. No.
Madison.
Madison and them find her dad, and Barry just wants to have her dad be on
Madison's dad is in this movie. He's a minor character at best.
I think he has 3 scenes max.
It's like, it's kind of weird how, like, in the aftermath of the big fight, he's suddenly in the crowd looking around as though he's looking for Madison, despite the fact that there's no indication he would even know that she's there.
She messaged him.
Oh. That was a minor detail that I missed. Sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Or called him, messaged him. It was staticky, and yeah.
Okay, well, that makes sense. Clearly, that was me just not being observant enough.
Yeah.
That's on me.
On one of the random scenes he's in the movie, he's on the phone talking to her.
Okay, fair enough. No wonder I forgot it. It was in one of the three scenes he's in.
Yep. And they're like only 5 seconds long.
Yeah.
Or not even.
Incredibly short. But Godzilla and Kong stare each other down and...
Looks like they're about to fight again, and then Kong throws his axe to the ground and says...
It's like, I'm done fighting. I'll just go back home to Hollow Earth. Rule down there.
Yeah, they kind of just, like... It's like, you rule down there, I'll rule up here, blah, 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 blah. And then Godzilla goes into the water.
And Kong, I guess, climbs back down into Hollow Earth where Monarch builds a new facility to monitor him.
He must have gone farther down than where they first... Because it looked very more like Skull Islandish.
I mean, to be fair, they have, like, just short of the entire surface of the Earth worth of Hollow Earth to explore, so...
Yeah. And then that's pretty much Godzilla versus Kong.
I mean, for as much as I nitpick some aspects of this movie, it was still incredibly fun.
Just nitpick the scenes where they're not fighting.
Yeah! The fight scenes were amazing. Really were incredibly well done. The lighting and effects work were absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. And, see... It makes sense that Godzilla is stronger than Kong in this movie. Because Godzilla has probably ancient times worth of fighting experience.
Whereas Kong's still a kid.
Yep. Maybe teenager. 20s.
I mean, relatively speaking.
I don't know. Age. It could be like doggy age.
I don't know how old he is. In actual years. In human years.
I couldn't tell ya. But it's just it's a kaiju film.
It's a fun movie.
Yeah.
Again, despite the nitpicks I had, the actual focus of the film, which is Godzilla fighting Kong, that's solid.
Yes.
And it does introduce a lot of really cool, fantastical elements that are explored in the next movie.
We'll get to that when we get to that.
Right.
But still, this was an awesome film. Remember seeing it in the theaters?
Oh, absolutely.
We have seen every
one of the MonsterVerse movies in theaters, and I'm super happy about that. Look, when Godzilla 2014 came out, I was excited to go see that. Saw that with my brothers. We had an incredibly fun time. Yeah. And we went to go see, Kong, Skull Island, and all the other ones with you and Jesse. Again, super fun time.
Oh, yeah.
Got to hang out with friends and enjoy a bunch of incredibly fun movies.
Yes, all good times. But all good times must come to an end.
But MonsterVerse doesn't look like that.
No, it's not going to come anytime soon.
I mean, they're still releasing toys for the movie that came out this year.
Yep.
It's like I picked up a Tiamat not too long ago. And you can not find those in stores. I looked.
Tiamat,
Shimo, all those cool ones.
Scar King.
Yeah, those are subjects for the next movie.
Yep.
Not the next movie on this podcast, but the next movie in the MonsterVerse. We still gotta double back and do Godzilla and Kong Skull Island at some point.
Yeah.
But we'll figure that out.
Yep.
I mean, heck, we haven't even gotten through the original Godzilla and King Kong movies.
Nope. Wait, we done? Haven't?
No.
Huh.
No, we've gotten the furthest along in the Kong movies. I think we still have 2 of those left to do.
Do we have to still do the...
We still gotta do King Kong Lives and the 2005 King Kong.
Oh, so the Bay, not Michael Bay.
Peter Jackson.
Peter Jackson's one. Yeah.
And as far as the Godzilla ones, we've still got the Showa era to finish up.
Yep.
And we've barely scratched the surface on the Heisei period, let alone anything else.
Yeah, the only reason we did this one for this is just the random
The
snow scene.
There aren't a whole lot of kaiju movies that have snow settings, so we got to take what we can get. If you guys suggest us movies with a snow setting that are kaiju movies and we haven't covered them yet, please send those suggestions our way.
Like last year, we did
Snow Monster versus Ice Shark.
There's it's just called Snow Monster, and it's the same movie.
I know that version of the movie got released on like YouTube or something. So that's why I get confused. I thought like one was the first movie and the other was a sequel, but no, they're the same movie, just with versus Ice Shark tacked on to the end.
Ice Shark
of the DVD release. So it's like, whatever.
Yep. Oh yeah.
I don't have much more to say about this movie other than that it's fantastic and go watch it.
Yep. Yeah, I don't really have much more to say either.
So, until next time, I'm Protomet.
I'm Tank.
See ya.
Bye.